car accident with your family. I could have been in the exact same car accident with my family at 12 years old. It might have been traumatic for you and not traumatic for me. Okay. So that's where it gets really interesting to me. But all these different childhood traumatic events add up. And and I'm trying to make this short for you, but I really, really encourage you to get into it and look into it, because I think it's going to answer a lot of questions you've had about your life. So, parents,
Welcome to BenchScope USA.
please.
The name is Court Francis Finnegan and her and he's recording these my lives.
Thank you. All right, here for sentencing, correct? All right. Have you two had a chance to go over the report and recommendation, counsel?
Yes.
No corrections? All right. Anything to add by way of allocution?
I knew that, I'm really important about it, but he's really, really, really taking this serious.
Mhm.
AA, what, 2 times a week.
Good,
Right, toward a lot for.
good. How long you been in?
Since April.
Okay. How's it going? So fairly fresh. Yeah. Okay. So what I noticed with a lot of my participants is the first couple months are tough, because they're trying to figure out how to juggle everything and time management and everything else. Are you struggling a little bit?
It's part of the routine now. So at the beginning, it was
Good.
trying to plan everything.
Yep. Yep.
But
Good.
It's just not too challenging.
Good. Good. I'm glad you're in. I'm glad you're in the program. All right. Anything else?
But he has a really good job that he's been working in.
That's for
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, I'm working there, doing good. My manager wants to promote me next year.
Oh, that's a new job too. Yeah. Good. Good. All right. Anything else you want to add?
Nothing here, I just said we thank you and appreciate if you please accept the recommendation.
I'm going to. Good. Good. So I want to give you something to think about. And I'm adopting in full the recommendation. We'll make that official in a minute. I saw, were you familiar with the adverse childhood experiences before you took the assessment for us? Okay. So you came in at a 6, which is a fairly high number. I want to encourage you to do some research, because I'm going to guess, I think you and I could have a really interesting conversation if we sat down over a cup of hot beverage and talked about your childhood. And I'm going to bet that over the last 30 years, you've had this thought through your head a number of times, like, what the hell was I thinking? Why am I doing that?
Right.
Okay. I want you to get into this. I want you to play around on the internet and do a little research on adverse childhood events. When I first got turned on to that concept, at some kind of judicial seminar, I went to something about trauma. You're in here, prison counsel, just bear with me. And they kind of whet my interest by giving me some of the high points of the whole thing. And then I started doing some research, and I found the premier study that started the whole thing. And it was, I don't remember now, but it seems to me it was, but ancient history. It was like back in the late 70s, early 80s or something like that. But adverse childhood events are basically anything that could be traumatic. And your trauma is not my trauma. So for example, you at 12 years old, you might have been in a car accident with your family. I could have been in the exact same car accident with my family at 12 years old. It might have been traumatic for you and not traumatic for me. Okay. So that's where it gets really interesting to me. But all these different childhood traumatic events add up. And and I'm trying to make this short for you, but I really, really encourage you to get into it and look into it, because I think it's going to answer a lot of questions you've had about your life. So for example, you're an engineer. So I have an idea how your brain works, because I got buddies that are engineers. They don't think like I do, right? I mean, you guys don't process like other people process. All right. But your brain, our brains are developed or are designed to develop a certain way. And, our norm, right? And then something happens, flight or flight, right? And we peak, and then things get back to normal. And then something else happens, and then we get back to normal. Well, kids that have enough trauma in their lives, they do this. And then they come down once in a while, and then they go back up, and they spend a lot of time up here. Okay. And as a result, your brain literally develops differently than it's designed to develop. Your thought processes don't develop normally. Okay? So for me, what I took out of that whole thing is, and this is the biggest part for me, and it did change the way I operate on the bench when I'm conscious, when I'm on my game 100%. Because instead of thinking, when I'm dealing with somebody where you're at, instead of thinking, what the hell's going on with this guy? What happened to this guy? That's a big game changer. Would you agree with me? What happened to this guy? What happened to change the way he deals with the world around him differently than he was designed to deal with the world around him? And the reason, and I always give some version of this lecture when I see somebody with a high number, because I think if we don't know what makes us tick, we got very little chance of dealing with it properly. And I'm thinking that your adverse childhood events are a big part of what make you tick, and you might not even know it.
I agree.
Okay. So do some research on it. And one of the things that blew my mind is not just how it changes our life, how we emotionally interact with the world, physically. People that are at a high number on the childhood ACEs, they call it ACEs score, they're, and I don't remember the percentages, but I'm just gonna throw numbers at you. They're 50% more likely to have heart disease later in life. Okay. They're 70% more likely to abuse substances later in life. I mean, it's not just, it's going to affect our relationships because we process information differently than everybody else we deal with, maybe. It's crazy. But I want you to look into it. Now, the very, very best part for me as a guy that works with kids, because I've been running a juvenile program, is what can change the way your brain works, can rewire your brain? Love. I think that's the coolest thing. That makes my tail wag every time I think about it, because that means that kid that's living up here, what can change that kid's pathway, literally the neural pathways in his head, is a relationship with an adult. Can be a coach, can be that teacher that takes that extra interest in him, could be a new, mom gets a new, he gets a new stepfather. All it takes is an adult that kid understands, that person cares about me, and that can change the way their brain processes. And that's mind-blowing stuff for me. It's pretty cool. All right. Not exactly what you expected to hear today, probably. But I would love to hear from you after you've done some research and ask me or tell me if it has been like V8 moment after V8 moment for you, looking back on your life through that filter.
I appreciate that.
Would you share that feedback with me? Okay. All right. Let's get to the business at hand. Okay. Yeah.
He talks in church, he's like a minister.
Yeah. 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 That family support is huge. Huge. Yeah. Okay. All right. So back to business. I'm going to adopt in full the recommendations of the probation department. That means, what do we have? Items 1 through 10 that were recommendations that you two went over. Those are now court orders. That includes the 40 hours of community service. That's just charity work. As long as the IRS is registered with it, the organization as a 501c3, you volunteer with them, get a letterhead that says you've done 40 hours, get that to your probation officer, and we're fine. All right. And you can talk to the probation officer about how much time you've got to get that done. Fines that cost $1,500. Can you pay it today, or do you need to talk options? Do that downstairs. Any questions? Good luck in Waterford. You keep them happy, you keep us happy. All right. Have a great day. Counsel, always a pleasure. Have a nice day, ma'am. Honestly, I've got that one. That's a sentencing. We don't need her.
Okay.
Who's the guy I just did? I did cross him off. Carter?
Thank you very much.
I can't find him. Oh, there he is. Counsel, your appearance for Osley.
Good morning, Your Honor. Marshall Goldberg and Mr. Ackley.
Good morning.
That's okay.
Have you fellas had a chance to look at the report and recommendation?
Your Honor, we emailed to my client, we looked it over it each day, and we talked about it.
Good. Right. Anything to correct?
Not to correct.
All right. Anything to add?
Uh,
Go ahead.
I guess it's more allocation.
I'm ready to hear it.
When we resolved this matter, I asked the prosecutor what his thoughts were at 7411, and he said it's certainly up to you, the judge, and whatever probation determines. So ultimately, I'm asking you for it to impose a sentence that would be under 7411. I talked to my client about employment we can get in terms of ways, and when surmising, this may have something to do with it.
This shouldn't even be on a record anywhere.
Well, it's still listed as.
Well, that's going to be, it'll be pending until he gets to the end of his deferment then.
7411, at least it may not appear.
Mhm.
This one.
Mm-hmm. Where you been applying? Okay. When's the last time you had a job? Where were you working then? How long? What's the status of your driving record? Your privileges? You're driving? Okay. Where'd you go to high school? What was your GPA? Have you done any school since then? What are your long-term plans? What are you thinking? Like carpenter, plumber? What are you thinking? Okay, where at? You got something picked out? Okay. What are you waiting for?
I'm gonna, if you want some applications.
I know what the process is. My question is, what are you waiting for?
Sorry.
Well, you're waiting because you haven't done it yet. What are you waiting for? How long have you decided that you want to do that?
Year.
Okay. I'm not excited. All right, go ahead, counsel.
Your Honor, right, he's not working. Any way we can minimize financing costs, I appreciate it. There was a civil infraction that went along with this because of the grace of the grandmother that was taken care of.
Mhm.
Certainly, it's not at this point standing on its feet independent, which ultimately this court, I think, sure knows, this is goal based
Yep.
requirements. But there's no aggravating circumstances about this, no prior record. Good candidate, but something to go not appear on his record.
You got his file, Ms. Trolley? No CCH?
But according to my DSI investigation,
Okay. No prior convictions for misdemeanors or felonies? I'm not inclined to give him a 7411. He already got the big break when they took it from a felony down to a misdemeanor. What are your thoughts, Ms. Trolley?
Here are my thoughts are, it gives him the opportunity to prove to you, you can fully comply. You can set certain goals.
I can do all that without giving him that extra gift.
I understand, but it's the same.
I'll tell you what, you get something on a plea agreement from the prosecutor that he offers it, and then I'll consider it.
They're not in here today. I didn't see it.
No, they're not. They're here on Tuesdays. Tuesday state.
Oh, we have some.
I'll tell you what. I'll adjourn sentencing. He can do something other than talk about doing a trade school between now and sentencing. That will make my tail wag. And as long as the prosecutor has no objections, then I'll consider a delayed sentence. How's that? All right. How much time you want? Keep in mind, you got to make my tail wag before I see you, or I'm not going to give you the 7411. No, 2 weeks? No, brother.
That filled in 1 week. No, their companies don't move. that.
You're going to make my tail wag. That means you're going to come back here with a job, or you're going to come back and you're going to be enrolled somewhere so you can get a job.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you need a scholarship of some sort or a loan of some sort to begin your trade school? No.
Okay. The other thing will make my tail wag is if you had a job. Okay. Matter of fact, I can do better now. Hold on. You got a driver's license. You can drive, right? Legally. You got a car. You got one you can borrow. Could you get to Monroe every day for a job? Okay. All right. I got a buddy that's always hiring.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, I've had his cards on my desk for 15 years. Yeah. I'll tell you what, when's your next sentencing date? June 25th. We'll have you come back. Go ahead, look at your account. So as long as your attorney's available on June 25th, you come back that day and you've got a job, and I mean a real job. I don't mean like 20 hours a week in McDonald's. Look, I want you to understand something, the way I think. You're 22 years old. Are you as healthy as you look? I mean, you don't have any health problems that keep you from working hard, right? Okay. So in my world, you should be working 60 or 70-hour weeks. Because when you work that hard in your 20s, when you're an old man like me, you don't have to work that hard. All right. So when I see a kid that's 22 years old and he hasn't worked for months, it's offensive to me. Because I know lots of people that are looking for help. All right. So you come back, you've got a real job, like a full-time plus job, or you're in trade school, even better, if you're in trade school and have a job, then I will consider his request to put you on a 7411. Deal? Okay. Are you available that day? What time you want to do it?
9. Sorry, just put that time.
And give me the date again. June what? 25? 9 a.m. Here's my note to myself because I have a terrible memory. Tail wagging job or school. Got a plan, gentlemen? We have a plan? All right. All right, counsel. See you then. Thank you, gentlemen. Enjoy your day. What do you got, counsel?
Oh, good morning.
What do you got?
This one, yeah. Okay. And you was your. You made it. Gave it up again.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Got them all said. MON, right? It's not hyphenated with something?
No.
Counsel, I'm looking for the file. There we go. All right. Come on up with Miss Monet. Your appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Lee appearing on this behalf of Ms. Monette, who for the record is present and stating here from my right.
Good morning. Is it Monette or Monet? You do use your T's. Okay. I said you use your T's.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, counsel.
Honor, we have reviewed the pre-sentence report. It is accurate, no changes. The one thing that, well, there is one thing, she is not in school, it indicates still, you know, that.
Okay.
She's a full-time homemaker, raising the children, their 2 young children. Feels really bad about this. He badly wants to keep this marriage intact.
Mhm.
Hope that
Mhm.
through probation period.
Okay.
Other than that, I have very little to say. I do want to ask you to adopt the recommendations. However, I'd like you to consider that she does suffer from several psychiatric conditions that necessitate medications.
Okay.
I think she could probably, as far as diagnosis, I think that she could probably provide that real quickly. And I just wanted you to consider that in this report. It's nothing that stops her from being here.
Right.
At the time, she
She struggles.
struggled.
Yeah.
I think it's important to tell you that.
Okay.
I stand ready right, well, it's-
Okay. You're welcome very much.
One more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. She does tell me that, and I indicated there is therapy going on with it, treatment with psychotropic drugs, and she is looking for a job.
Good, good. Good luck. Okay. Anything you want to add to what council's told me? Don't feel that you have to. I'm just giving you a chance.
Just that if you have someone in your role that's looking for a job for to hire people all the time, I really.
You might not want the job because it's a water and sewer company. And unless you want to play in the mud every day, you probably don't want the job.
By the way, see the judge sit down off her.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Do they take you out on it often?
I have a lot of them take the card.
Say that.
Yeah. Over the years, I've had people show up there and actually work. So
That's even more so.
that's even better. Yeah.
Thanks, sir. We go on.
Okay. All right. All right, I'll adopt the recommendations of the probation department. I understand this was a delayed sentence under 7694A, right?
It is not.
Yeah, for 12 months. All right. Court costs are assessed in the amount of $700. Ma'am, can you pay that today or do you need some options? All right. Any questions?
No, you're.
Okay. Good luck, ma'am.
Thanks. See you this morning.
Same here. Mr. Graziani, you got something ready?
Yes, I do, sir.
Give me a name.
Scott Davis. Judge.
Davis?
That's a probation violation, sir.
Looking for the file. All right, found the file. Good morning. Your appearance.
Graziani, on the 4327, good morning, Chuck and staff. We're here for the probation violation for Mr. Davis. We plead guilty to him not completing the community service. However, he will be going to the substance abuse treatment program. In fact, he's going there on Monday to get involved at Western Wayne Center for an income-based program.
Good.
He's on a limited income. He is working, I believe, for the operating engineers. They're starting off as a subcontractor. But he's starting off as a subcontractor and soon he'll be in a position where he can do the community service on the weekends. I did indicate that to Mr. Rowley. And we're asking for continuation of probation because I do believe he's on the right path.
Okay,
He's being off on time.
okay. All right, so you didn't do a psych eval?
I did not go and I have this scheduled for Monday.
Right, all right, all right, so two things were ordered. Substance abuse, treatment, and a psychological evaluation. Which one do you have starting Monday?
I believe it's both. Am I correct?
Yeah.
It's-
Okay,
For the whole thing, I-
Okay.
To the other therapy issues with them.
Okay. all right. Have you gone to any AA meetings?
No,
Okay,
I have not done that, but I have got,
so other than pay, what have you done?
got, a little over 10 of my community service hours done since we came in. And I am set up for going to the, I was hoping that when I go to the Western Wing, they have,
I misspoke. You do not have to do a substance or a psych eval. Substance abuse treatment and work program community service. Okay,
He's gonna be very aggressive about it now that he has transportation. He
Okay.
Got the board fusion several months ago.
okay.
They were having him also work on the weekends and that was,
Who do you work for now?
I'm working for, I'm subcontracting for Treehouse, construction. I'm subcontracting with Team Z right now.
Okay.
I'm doing I'm an operator for the equipment hoist, so I can get.
Yep. How long have you been working that job?
I'm coming up on a month.
Okay, so where did you work before that?
I worked at the gym, worked at Planet Fitness.
Okay. How long were you there?
9 months.
All right, full time?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I was, you know, I was transporting myself on my bike to get down.
Okay,
Can't make a living at that, Josh.
yeah. So what stopped you from doing the community service hours?
Time limitations going around on the bicycle and my, I was working from 1 or 2 to 10 o'clock at night
Right,
and, you know, going in there for the morning bit.
that's a weird shift. Yeah.
Opens up at 10.
Yeah.
Judge, in fact, there were conflicts, as you indicated to me on the weekend, and, now there's not gonna be any more excuses, that correct?
Right, and I am presently, I did my 10 hours of the community service. I've got, just over 10.
Where'd you do it at?
It was, Goodwill and, Wicked.
Okay,
So I've been going.
all right, so you still owe me 40 hours.
Yes.
Okay.
You do have 40 hours.
40.
Okay.
Even though it stated 6 hours, Judge, there's evidence that he did the additional hours, but there is an additional 40 hours.
Okay, all right. Ms. Troll, are you satisfied with giving him another review date? See if we can get him on track?
Yes.
The June 25?
Yes. 8:50.
All right, let's review this at June 25. All right, so that gives you, oh, in essence, it gives you a month and 2 weeks. So how many hours can you get done in that time?
I was actually planning on doing today. I took the whole day off of work, so.
So bank some out today? All right,
This weekend, I have my grader training. The,
right,
You know, company that's us lift is gonna be in.
okay. Well, let's do this.
Doing Sundays.
I'm going to determine on June 25th whether or not I'm just going to move you forward with probation or there's going to be some kind of a consequence because you're, what, 6 months into probation and you haven't done much. Okay? So understanding that's the decision I make on June 25th, it might behoove you to get a lot of hours done between now and then. I'm not saying miss your training this week because that's a good job training. So I'm not saying miss your training to go to Goodwill. But I'm saying you want to get some hours done. All right? Okay, so we'll see you June 25th, 8:30. And but I like that too, because by then you should have something to talk about from this treatment. Some documentation, make sure you let them know that they can share information with Mr. Rowley. So she can check with them. Is he showing up? Is he engaged? How's treatment going? All right? All right, we'll see you then. Good luck this weekend.
Mr. Hart, Judge,
Hart, H.
AJRPA, correct? There's
They just pay.
Yes.